My brothers and sisters, what is going on? This is Steel Sermon in the house. It is Wednesday night with another video. As always, do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram. Link in the description below. So, just want to come on here, and I'm going to talk about Kenny Pickett in this video today. And then the NFL schedule release is tomorrow, Thursday, May 11th. And I will have my schedule prediction for the Steelers out either Friday or Saturday, because that is when I will be able to look at it at first glance. And then I'll have a final schedule prediction out probably a week or so before the preseason begins. But getting on in this video, I'm talking about Kenny Pickett in this one. So, my general thoughts on Kenny Pickett are pretty much the same as every other Steeler fan pretty much in this fan base. And it's that I like him. I think he has a lot of potential to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, actually. And I think that he has a promising future ahead of him. But see, last season, even though it wasn't a full season for him, it was still his rookie season. So, you can kind of understand the growing pains that he had with him a little bit. I know he threw 9 interceptions last year, but most of those interceptions, they're incredibly misleading. Kind of like in the Dolphin game where he threw 3 picks, and I only assign one of those picks on him. The other 2 were, I'm putting it on the defensive line, and I think it was Deontay Johnson tripped on the route, ended up being an interception. But the thing now with Kenny Pickett is I'm going to start treating him the same way that I treated Big Ben, honestly. And I know that Steeler fans don't like that. I know you guys may not like that, but that's just how I roll. And that's just how this fan base rolls. And quite frankly, how the treatment of a quarterback in today's league goes. Just because you're the quarterback of the team, and just because I happen to like you, that doesn't mean that you're immune from criticism. Okay? I know people like to point the finger at Matt Canada all the time, and trust me, I am the last person on earth. Hear me right now, I am the last person on earth who would ever defend Matt Canada for anything, and I do agree that he has absolutely no excuses to not succeed with this offense right now, because it has really developed into a run-heavy offense, especially with the post-draft, okay? But I also say you can't make excuses for Kenny Pickett anymore, okay? I'm not giving him the training wheels this year and from here on out. I'm not saying, well, it's just this and it's just that and, he's just a second-year quarterback. No, I mean, at the same time, sure, Kenny Pickett made, misleading interceptions, but at the same time, Kenny Pickett has also had more than enough snaps under center and more than enough starts to be the starting quarterback of this franchise, and he's been treated as such to be able to progress. Okay, that's my main point with Kenny Pickett, and you see, this is why, in a nutshell, okay, this goes with pretty much every player that the Steelers draft and pretty much the Pirates and the Penguins draft as well. Okay, this is why when it comes to players that we draft, I tend to be much more patient with them, because they're true Steelers. Who I'm not patient with are players that we got from trades or free agency, unless I know for a fact that they are a very good player. That's why I'm hard on Mitch Trubisky. That's why I was hard on that's why I was hard on James Daniels, just to name a few. Okay? But when you're drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, it changes up a little bit. because everybody in this city loves Kenny Pickett and they want to see him succeed. And, like I said, with the interceptions, they're incredibly misleading, and he has that bald-headed idiot as his GM calling the plays, and that's fine. But now we're starting to build around this kid who's entering his sophomore season in the league. And look what we added to it in this offseason just alone, okay? We got Najee Harris in the backfield who's entering his third season. Najee had back-to-back seasons of rushing for over 1,000 yards. Behind this offensive line, which was one of the bottom O-lines in the league, especially with the run blocking, massive dub for Najee Harris right there. That's who his RB1 is. His RB2 is Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren, great year last year when he was called to the plate. He put up some productive numbers, and there was even a point in time, and I'm one of these fans as well, I will freely admit it, there was even a point in time where we were calling for Jaylen Warren to be the RB1. So Kenny Pickett has pretty much a nice 1-2 punch in the backfield with Najee and Warren. You take a look at the targets that he has. He's got Pat Freiermuth. Probably his favorite target. Kind of reminds me of Big Ben to Heath Miller. Freiermuth, while he's not a superstar per se, he's very serviceable enough to be a standout guy on this team. You got Zach Gentry coming back to be a blocking tight end. And now you just got Darnell Washington in the draft, who was the second highest ranked tight end in the entire draft, the best blocking tight end in the draft, and we stole this guy at 93 overall. So he's got some pretty good tight ends to work with here. Pretty much a sixth guy on the O-line to work with. The way that this guy goes out for receptions, the way all these guys go out for receptions and they block, there's no excuse for Kenny Pickett. And then you got his receivers. We sit down here, we voice our opinions about Deontay Johnson, okay? Deontay drops in an $18 million mistake, whatever you want to call it. Okay, he had a to put it in light terms, a disappointing season. When I could sit down here and say a lot worse, but I'll just keep it at a minimum for this video. Say what you want about the guy, but he's the best rated wide receiver when it comes to separation. And it's up to him to play up to his abilities. You got George Pickens coming in. Easily Kenny Pickett's best target, in my opinion. You got Calvin Austin, who's basically entering his rookie season, because he's going to be healthy this year, and we anticipate him to be the versatile guy that he is with his speed and his jet sweeps and, the wildcat plays incorporated. We know that's the kind of guy that Calvin Austin can be. And now you just add in Allen Robinson from free agent. We traded for Allen Robinson for pretty much nothing. We got him for free with pretty much just a $5 million here you go fee. And the O-line has been improved. Picked up 3 O-linemen in free agency, and we get Broderick Jones at 14 in the draft. Couple that with a couple of other linemen in the draft, and like I said, Darnell Washington later, who's pretty much the sixth lineman on this O-line. The back is covered, and he's got support on his blind side as well. You can say what you want about Matt Canada, okay? But I'm telling you right here, right now, Kenny Pickett, there is absolutely no reason for you to regress in 2023. You have more than enough talent to succeed in this league. you have more than enough support to be the best quarterback that you can possibly be. Because if you thought last year was welcome to the NFL, where everyone's pampering you and everyone is, praising you and kissing the ground that you walked on, no, boy, that ain't what welcome to the NFL is. This is a welcome to the NFL right here, where you are being put under a microscope by the fan base, and if you make a mistake and if you have a bad game, we're going to grill you for it. Pretty much. Regardless if the interceptions are on you or not, regardless of the mistakes that you make are your fault or not, the fact of the matter is, we're gonna start being a little more vocal with you now. And if you have a bad game, we're gonna grill you. Like I said, that's just how Pittsburgh and just in general the state of Pennsylvania is. Kenny Pickett should be very familiar with it after all, because he played at Pitt. I like the guy. He's my quarterback. I don't expect him to be Big Ben. I don't expect him to be Patrick Mahomes. I don't expect him to be Josh Allen. I don't expect him to be Jalen Hurts. I don't expect him to be even Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow. I expect him to go out there, be the best version of himself that he can possibly be, and he did just enough to win us games last year. He showed that he has that clutch gene in him. He showed that he can use his legs and he's got good maneuverability in the pocket. He can take off when he needs to. And I think that there's more than enough room for improvement. So no concussions this year, Kenny, okay? No concussions this year. No slow reads. No late reads. Go out there and just ball. And that's all I got to say. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. This is Steel Sermon checking on out for the day. May God be with you all.